Something the matter?
No, I was just looking at you.
Oh.
No, I was just trying to come up with somebody to play you in Blood on the Badge.
Play me?
In the movie.
There's going to be a movie?
Well, I mean, you know, the deal hasn't been finalized yet, but my people are talking to their people, so I figure I should be ready with some casting ideas.
Oh.
So I got a preliminary list of possible Barneys.
Who you got so far?
Well, there's Eli Wallach, Rip Torn, Jason Robards.
Charles Nelson Riley.
No, that's for Dietrich.
Oh. Still mad at him, huh?
Milk call. Harris?
Ah, thanks.
Captain, guess who called this morning?
My daughter, Rachel.
So what did she say, smart guy? She'll be by about 12. Oh, good.
Little Rachel coming down, sir?
Yeah.
Can't remember the last time I saw her.
You've never seen her?
Yes, that's true. I was speaking collectively. But I appreciate you throwing it up in my face. So I guess she finally graduated from Hubert.
That's Hobart.
Hobart, of course. A fine institution. I considered applying there myself.
No?
But I became a cop instead.
Really?
Regardless, I'm sure you must be very proud of her. What with her being the fruit of your loins and all.
Get my mail.
Yes, sir. It's dressed to the top banana.
Thank you.
I'll be downstairs in a pool of blood if you need anything else, sir.
No, Wojo's not here yet. Figured that was a question. 12 Precinct, Sergeant Dietrich. Yeah. Okay. Alarm just went off Binder's Sporting Goods.
All right, you and, Wojo.
Lee,
I noticed. You're on with Dietrich.
I got a real good excuse. Want to hear it?
Not really.
Okay, I'll use it next time. Barney, I got a couple of leads on that Davenport case. I'm going to check them out.
I came up with another possibility.
Yeah?
Roy Scheider. Yeah, well, I was leafing through the book, and it.
Oh, you for the movie?
Yeah,
for you. Yeah. Roy Scheider, huh?
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
He's already played a cop.
Hmm.
He can dance.
Well, I'm not so sure he'd want to slide across this floor. But I'll certainly put him down. Just a thought.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Arnold Ripner, always a pleasure. Sorry, Arnold. Pickings are a little slim this morning.
Your information, Captain, I already have a client.
Oh?
Joseph Rubio. You arrested him this morning on suspicion of burglary.
Not me. I haven't done a thing all day. Excuse me?
I'm afraid you're misinformed, Arnold. We're not holding a Joseph Rubio.
Here you go, Rubio. I happened to witness it from my car.
You tuning in on police calls again?
I'm not too proud.
All right, we're home, Bruno.
Am I on some kind of a list or what?
This is Joseph Rubio. He broke into the back of Binder's sporting goods store.
Allegedly.
Who's the jerk?
He's my lawyer, right?
Arnold Rittner will have you out of here in 45 minutes.
Question is, why'd we cuff Bruno? Well, you tell me.
Charge is reckless endangerment. He had this set up behind a back door. Had a rig so if somebody came in the door, they'd get an arrow in the head.
Just trying to save you guys some paperwork.
Well, Rubio's lucky he's short.
2 inches taller, we would have had sweetbread shish kebab. I didn't like saying that.
I got a right to protect my store. Yeah, but I tried everything else. Alarms, guard dogs. I even rented cobras, but they never come when you call them. This is against the law, Binder.
Yeah, I could have been killed.
So?
So what we have here is a flagrant violation of Mr. Rubio's civil rights. Not to mention the resultant mental anguish and the loss of self-esteem. I mean, this man may never rob again.
So sue me.
We are.
For what?
Destroy your home, everything you got.
Arnold. Sounds like a lovely piece of litigation, but we got to book the men first. Do you mind?
Fine.
Thank you. Dietrich, you want to...
Bruno, let's do the ample trick.
You think I might get some money out of this?
I hope not.
Thanks for the thought.
Captain, I'll be returning shortly with the bail ticket for Mr. Rubio and a subpoena for Mr. Binder.
I get your subpoena right here.
Right.
Goodbye, Arnold.
Is that Harris?
Oh, yeah, that's that book you published last year, no?
Blood on the badge. Cute title. What's it about?
Sort of a day-to-day journal about the squadron. So.
You mean sort of a real-life account of happenings in this office, people who've come in here?
Something like that. Bye, Arnold.
I'll be back later.
Go chase an ambulance.
Thanks.
You know, you just can't insult some people.
You want some coffee, mallet head?
2 sugars.
Can I help you?
No, I don't think so. Hello.
Hello? Can I do something for you?
I'm here to see Captain Miller.
Well, I'm younger. He's upstairs. He'll be down in a minute. You want to sit and wait?
Thank you.
I haven't done anything yet. Would you like some coffee?
No thanks, Wojo.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Remember my daughter, Rachel?
Apparently, I didn't make much of an impression on him the first time around.
Well, has been, what, 5 years since you're here, you know?
Right, just before I left for school. I remember Fish was here.
Yeah.
And Nick. And Wojo, you were wearing your karate outfit.
Well, I'm over that now.
So what brings you down?
Oh, I'm meeting Mom at Bloomingdale's, but I stopped by to see if you want to have dinner with me.
Tonight?
Yeah, reservations for 7 o'clock?
I got tour command. I won't be relieved till 10.
I understand.
Sounds just like your mother.
Barn, I'm free tonight. You want me to cover for you?
Oh, thanks, but no.
Well, then I'll take her out. Want to go with me?
$6:30, okay?
Great.
Bye, Daddy.
I'll try to have her back by Sunday.
Barn? I ran down those leads. No luck.
Sergeant Harris.
I'm still here.
Captain, you might want to hear this. Sergeant, this is for you.
Oh, one of your flyers?
No, simply a notification of impending legal action.
Say again?
Arnold Drake Ripner versus Ronald Nathan Harris and Bass and Marshall Publishers Limited. Publishers of Blood on the Badge for libel, defamation of character, unlawful use and usurpation of likeness, seeking punitive and substantive damages in the amount of $5 million.
You are out of the movie.
What's it all about, Arnold? I'm suing Sergeant Harris.
What about me?
Get a lawyer. If he libeled me in that book, he's going to have to pay.
You realize, of course, you're going to get absolutely nowhere with this pathetic hodgepodge of legalistic mumbo-jumbo.
Is that right?
Yes, because I'm going to shoot you.
Harris.
Barney, look, don't worry about it. I mean, he really can't sue me. I changed his name in the book. He was totally fictionalized.
So?
So, as such, my book is protected from any legal action.
That's a good point, Arnold.
It was until Bendham versus Mitchell.
Who?
In which the Supreme Court let stand the 1979 decision of a California appeals court, which awarded a $75,000 judgment to the plaintiff for his libelous, even though fictionalized, inclusion in the defendant's work.
You believe this guy?
Look, Arnold, this book was published a year and a half ago. Isn't that a little late for a lawsuit?
I didn't even hear about the book till you showed it to me this morning.
Excuse me.
Give me that.
That's from Newsweek, December 1979.
Did you tear this out of a library copy?
Listen, Wojo, about Rachel, I've been giving it some thought. I think it would be wise if we kind of held off on it.
Held off.
Yeah.
You mean that you don't want me to take her out?
Fine.
Everyone's talking. There could be nuclear holocaust. Well, I say, if there's going to be one, let's have it and move on.
For a lunatic, you make pretty good sense.
Move over, scum.
I'm real sorry, Harris.
Arnold, this means nothing.
No?
Well, in the first place, it hasn't been established that the character in question is even you.
Character in question has been referred to as, quote, a shyster attorney, a parasitic lowlife, and a bespectacled cretin. Well, who else could it be? I've already underlined a dozen passages describing despicable and unscrupulous behavior that my own mother would recognize.
Look, before you proceed any further, I think you should know that my publishers and I will be retaining the best lawyers money can buy.
Same here.
Hey, look, you four-eyed sleazeball.
Page 57.
Hey, back off. Because if you think I'm going to let anybody blow this movie deal,
Oh, Sergeant,
you got
don't
another
threaten
thing
me
coming
here.
and you
This
better
is a
get it
police
quick.
station.
Hold it.
Hey, what's with Charles Nelson Riley? You still mad at me?
Look, this is a personal matter between the two of you. I would appreciate it if you would settle it on your own time.
Is it because I'm not Jewish? That's it, isn't it?
In the office, Wojo. Go ahead.
Hey, Miller, you Jewish? You people got one hell of an Air Force. So, what's going on with your lawyer?
I don't know. He's supposed to be suing you, and all of a sudden he's suing that guy.
For what?
I don't know, some book he wrote.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, you try to kill me.
We can still talk.
Come on, Barney. If you think I'm not good enough to take your daughter out, just tell me.
Wojo.
I mean, I know that you don't have a very high opinion of me. I mean, intellectually.
That's stupid.
See?
Wojo, this has nothing to do with whether you're good enough or smart enough.
What's left?
Woj, you know sometimes when you're late for work in the morning?
It's because I'm not punctual?
It's more the reason you're not punctual.
Oh, you mean because I sleep around a lot?
You do seem to jump into relationships rather easily, yes.
So you figure that the first time Rachel and I go out, we're going to end up in a sack together?
That does seem to be a pattern with you, yeah.
Well, you're probably right. Barn, look at... Even if something did happen, it's not like it would be a new experience for her.
Huh?
Well, she's 22, right?
Just turned 22, last month.
Come on, Barn. She's been away at college for 4 years. Well, what do you think they do up there, study?
Just because a child is free from parental guidance does not mean she's going to go wild all of a sudden, you know.
She went to Europe last summer, right?
Yeah, a couple of months.
Well, there you go.
Hey, I only wrote it. You published it. Look, come on. I mean, your name is on the lawsuit, too. Oh, what are you gonna do, sue me? Well, get in line, Buster.
Hey, am I in that book, too?
I'm leaving now.
Can I sue you, too?
Fine.
Where are you going?
Just away.
Listen, Harris, you cannot run away from this thing.
Look, if you put your hand on me one more time, I cannot be responsible for your teeth.
Give him a shot. You'll feel better.
You here for the fight?
Dad? I'm back.
Hi there, how you doing?
Can we go now?
Well, I'm not too sure.
Captain, there's 3 guys with guns at a supermarket on Bleecker. They may be hostages.
Okay, that's all of us. Break out some weapons. Harris, I'm on a flight of uniforms backing us up.
Hey, Dad, you're not going too.
Oh, don't worry about it, honey. But don't tell your mother.
We'll do it another time.
Sure.
Great. Barney. Yeah? The cars are all out front. Fine.
Harris, don't think getting killed got you off the hook. I can see your mistake.
Thank you, brother. Listen, stay up here and look after things. Sir? Hooker? That's my daughter.
Isn't asking for myself? Come here often? Here you go. Anyway, the point is, I've been at the 12th almost 5 years, so I think I've earned the right to a permanent assignment up here.
Have you talked to my father about it?
I've mentioned it once or twice. He always manages to sidestep the issue.
You know, when I really wanted something from my father, I used to climb up on his lap, put my arms around him, and whisper in his ear, "I love you."
It may be worth a shot.
Is he gone?
Where's Daddy?
Oh, Daddy's coming.
Everything go all right?
We won.
What happened?
No, nothing at all. Just a couple of scared kids holed up in the back of the store. We took them down to juvenile, that's it.
I'm gonna tag their machine gun.
Thank you. Take care of those weapons and go home.
Uh-huh.
See you early in the morning, Barn.
So, is dinner still on?
I think we blew our reservation.
Why don't you try Donatello's on Christopher? You can generally get a table there.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's good. Let's go.
Bye, Dad.
Bye, babe.
I'll see you tomorrow, Carl.
Pick you up at 8.
I'm going home now.
Listen, how did it end up with Ripner?
Well, we worked everything out. I'm going to give him $5 million, and he's going to spend it.
I'm sorry. I mean, I had the book under my arm. He showed me a
Barney,
picture
hey,
on the
look,
back.
don't worry about it, you know? I mean, it's really not your fault. I mean, if you hadn't told him, he would have found it out from someone else.
Yeah, that's probably
Of course, you can kiss off Roy Scheider.
Hey. Hey, Dietrich.
Very funny.
Hey, look, she told me Ellen had gone to Yale. I just assumed you'd like her.
Yeah.
Well, she was smart.
So is Kissinger. You dance with him.
Well, and I'm sorry about
Well,
Linda and me leaving you guys in a restaurant like that, but things just worked out pretty good for me.
good.
So I guess I owe you one.
Yeah.
Well, what'd you end up doing after dinner?
I went home. She's probably still cuffed to the chair.
Well, Joe?
Where, Bart?
Harris?
Hey, Barn.
Somebody get his tambourine stolen?
Barn, look again.
My God, is that Ray?
I think that's what God must have said.
Ray? Good to see you again.
Hello, Captain Miller.
What happened?
Somebody broke into the Harbor Light Center, took about $50 in petty cash and a couple of cases of soup starter.
I meant, what happened to you?
Oh, I mean this.
Well, yeah. Last time you were here, you were, civilian.
I was a bum,
Right.
but I'm not anymore.
Good. Must say, you look very impressive.
Of course, we're allowed to wear our regular clothes, too, you know.
Oh.
But all my regular clothes stink.
Barn, I've got Ray looking through the mug books, see if he can spot anybody who was hanging around the mission.
Fine.
Yes, I'd just like to talk to the guy. I mean, maybe $50 don't seem like much, but, well, the Army has got a daycare center. And, well, $50 can put a hot lunch into the belly of 67 needy kids. Sorry, I get carried away sometimes.
Sit down, Ray. I just spent $50 on dry cleaning.
I'm afraid you'll have to learn to live with that. By the way, you guys are on your own this afternoon. I've got court.
No kidding.
Yeah, I gotta go testify in that Gorman case, remember?
Oh, you mean that little $8 million cocaine bust that we made? The one that's getting all the publicity?
That's the one.
Were you in on that?
I don't remember.
Sure, you remember me. I was the guy with the mustache. And the shotgun who planned and led the raid, which developed from a tip from my source of information.
Oh, well. We skipped lunch.
I'll be sure to mention that at the trial.
Oh, fine. We'll get that. 12th Precinct, Sergeant Harris. Yeah. All right. We're on our way. Barn, there's a disturbance at Le Beaumont restaurant over on Barrow.
Yeah, you and Dietrich.
Right. Arthur, got a disturbance at a restaurant.
Right. Sounds like she got loose.
Cap. Coffee is the only vice I got left, so I like to make the most of it.
It's a sin, all right.
It's funny. Dad'd kill him down at the post.
Feel free to use it.
Bless you. So I bet you're probably wondering what happened to the old Ray, right? Well, Barney, my story begins about a year ago. I was at a real low point, even for me. You know, sleeping in doorways, giving blood 3-4 times a week, picking through trash cans for half-eaten hot dogs, pretzels, you know, wiping off the ants and the
I got
maggots.
the picture.
Then something incredible happened. I was going down an alley, jiggling doorknobs like I used to do. And I found one that wasn't locked.
A church.
Liquor store. And there I was, all alone, at a booze buffet. And I went for it. Red wine, white wine, and that blue stuff that goes great with any dish. Apricot brandy, Kahlua, Drambuie. I drank whiskey out of an Elvis decanter.
Sounds like a lovely evening.
You would think so. But for some reason, I felt empty. Then at one point or another, I must have blacked out because when I came to a couple of weeks later, I was on the subway. I was driving it. That's when I realized that my life lacked direction.
Mr. Boughton, inside, please.
All I wanted was an omelet.
What do we got? This is Sidney Boughton. According to witnesses, he got into a shouting match with a few of the waiters at the restaurant, and then he started throwing some punches.
A person can only take so much humiliation.
Yeah. Anyway, by the time we got there, he had the maitre d' in a headlock over by the salad bar.
He'll be all right. Just a little crouton rash. Owner said he's coming down later. He insists on pressing charges.
What was the provocation?
Go ahead, tell him.
Well, apparently, Mr. Boughton was denied a table because the management felt that he didn't quite measure up to their minimum standard for aesthetic acceptability.
He means because I'm ugly.
It seems Le Beau Monde prides itself on its beautiful people clientele. If you're not attractive, you don't get in.
Mm-hmm.
They told you that? Oh, not in so many words. First, they asked me if I had a reservation, and I said no, but I see a lot of empty tables. And then they said, oh, those tables are reserved for special people. So then I said that I would wait. Then I saw the waiters pointing at me and whispering to each other things like, who let him in here? Ooh, look at him. Somebody go find a bag for the elephant man.
Boughton, party of one?
Thank you.
Oh, you were going to court?
Yeah, right now.
I'll be here. Can I help you, ma'am?
Yes, I'm Lieutenant Holly. They told me downstairs I could find Raymond up here.
Yeah, I'm Sergeant Wojciechowicz.
So is he here?
Yeah, he's in the men's room.
Oh.
You want me to drag him out of there?
No, I can wait.
Why don't you help yourself to a cup of coffee?
Thank you.
Oh, excuse me. There's some cookies in the drawer there.
I don't even know you.
Oh, Lieutenant. How you doing, sir?
I received your message. What's going on?
Nothing to worry about. I got the boys working on the case.
Oh.
Well, actually, it was Sergeant Harris who took the statement.
This is the information, ma'am, if you'd like to look it over.
Oh, that won't be necessary, Sergeant. I'm sorry if we've inconvenienced you, but Raymond and I have decided not to pursue this matter any further.
When we do that?
You see, Sergeant, our policy is to deal with problems like this internally without involving outside authorities.
Well, whatever you say.
Thank you. Let's go, Raymond.
Wait a minute, excuse me. You did get robbed, didn't you?
Yes.
And you don't want to do something about it?
Not here.
Why not?
Sergeant, believe me, we're perfectly capable of handling these situations ourselves.
You mean this has happened more than once?
In the past month, we've had a dozen or so break-ins at various facilities, but the point is that we're in the business of helping people who do things like this.
Well, have you caught anybody yet?
No.
Well, then how are you going to help him?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Lieutenant. We'll need to take a statement, so why don't you take a seat here at Sergeant Roger Howard's desk? I'll take that.
Hey, Cap. Barney.
Huh?
How'd it go in court?
Oh, I gotta call Liz.
I asked first.
Go on. Is everything okay?
I got cited for contempt.
Oh, yeah?
I have to surrender to the officer of the court in 2 hours. I'm going to jail. Anyway, the judge referred to me as an uncooperative witness.
Why?
Refused to name my source of information.
Oh, come on, you can't do that. It's confidential.
Yeah, we start putting a finger on our squealers, we might as well pack it in and go fish. I love that kind of talk.
All of that was covered in the judge's chambers. I also pointed out that revealing the man's identity was tantamount to signing his death warrant.
And?
His Honor felt that was irrelevant. He said the defense had a perfectly legitimate right to subpoena my informant, that I was jeopardizing a very important case based on some misguided code of ethics.
So he hits you with contempt.
He said a man as highly principled as myself might enjoy the martyrdom.
It's not fair.
Thank you, Wojo.
Well, the way he's got it fixed, you got some sleazeball pusher out on the street while you're going to jail for trying to put him there.
Why didn't we think of that?
So what are you going to do, Bar?
Notify the department, contact my lawyer, buy a toothbrush, call Liz, tell her not to hold dinner.
What's she making? I got no plans.
I'm Sergeant Harris. Can I help you? Yes, I'm Matt Hagen, the owner. Le Beaumont. Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
Sir, I came as soon as I heard the tragic news. I'm still reeling.
Excuse me.
Levitt, the less made out of this, the better, huh?
Sorry, sir. I didn't mean to annoy you by being moved.
Levitt.
It's just, although your moments up here are dwindling down to a precious few, moments better spent with loved ones and those among your peer group, still, I'd like you to have this.
What is it?
Just a few items to make your impending incarceration a bit more tolerable. Cigarettes, magazines, box of nonpareils.
What's this for?
Just so you don't lose it.
I appreciate it.
Bart?
Yeah.
You got a minute?
Yeah?
Gentleman's Quarterly's here to press charges.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Hagen. Captain Miller. Captain.
Hagen?
You look familiar to me.
Oh?
Been to my restaurant?
No, I don't believe I have.
Well, you certainly qualify.
That's very flattering, Mr. Hagen, but what about Mr. Boughton?
Oh. He didn't.
Sure, go ahead. Rub my face in my face.
Look, Mr. Hagen, you really intend signing that complaint?
Captain, that man ruined some very expensive cut crystal, not to mention dozens of appetites. Now, what other choice do I have?
Well, considering your people probably provoked Mr. Boughton, based upon some rather subjective, if not questionable criteria, it might be the better part of wisdom just to let it slide.
No.
Sign a complaint.
Sign it. Sign it. Maybe you could lock me up and keep me out of sight, but you can't run away from the mirror.
Why would I want to?
What heredity did to me, time is going to do to you.
Oh, really? Mr. Boughton, you want to know something? Believe it or not, I'm 41. Surprised?
No.
He's just saying that for spite. I mean, just look. It's not a wrinkle, not a bag. It's because I take care of myself. I eat right, I exercise, get plenty of sleep. I keep a picture of myself up in the attic. Is that a pimple? If that's supposed to be a joke, it's not even funny.
Well, guess I better be going. I don't want to be late for my first day in jail.
Somebody to drive you down?
No, I got a car out back. Besides, you guys still got this place to run, huh?
That's right. I got it.
Of course, you're in charge during my absence.
Oh, Barney, I'm not.
You're senior officer.
Yeah, Barney, but I mean, they're just the three of us now. Barney, we got a disturbance over in Canal?
You and Dietrich.
I'll adapt.
Look, if you need me for anything, you know where I'll be.
Sure, Bar. Take it easy.
Okay. See you soon. All right.
Hey, take care of yourself.
Okay.
Barney, I'd just like to give you some advice.
Yeah?
Tell them you keep kosher. You'll eat better.
Thanks, Ray.
In here. Step up to the yellow line, please. Empty your pockets on the desk of all items. Leave your pockets out. Remove your tie, remove your belt, remove the laces from your shoes. Personal effects surrendered are as follows. 1 wallet, 1 set of keys, $24 in cash, 35 cents in change, you can keep the papers, we'll keep the pen. Glasses, okay. Magazines, toothbrush, toothpaste, fine. I got soap here. Oh, you'll kill for these. You can have this.
Thank you.
Okay, sign here for your personal
procedure.
Good. Well, then let's just finish it. Strip.
Hey, good cookie.
Okay, in the cage. Have a pleasant evening.
You're in my light.
What time they serve breakfast around here?
Sooner or later.
Thank you.
Guy before you always gave me his milk.
Okay, I just need a little for coffee.
We'll talk about it later, okay?
Oh, by the way, you guys are on your own this afternoon. I got court.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'll testify in the Gorman case.
You mean that little $8 million cocaine bust that we made? The one that's getting all the publicity?
That's the one.
Were you in on that?
I don't remember.
In the past month, we've had a dozen or so break-ins at various facilities, but the point is that we're in the business of helping people who do things like this.
Well, have you caught anybody yet?
No,
Well, then how are you going to help him?
that's a good point.
I got cited for contempt.
Oh, yeah?
I have to surrender to the officer of the court in 2 hours. I'm going to jail. Anyway, the judge referred to me as an uncooperative witness.
Why?
Refused to name my source of information.
Of course, you can't do that. I mean, it's confidential.
Yeah, we start putting a finger in our squealers, we might as well pack it in and go fish. I love that kind of talk. Of course, you're in charge during my absence.
Oh, Barney, I'm
Hey,
not.
you're senior officer.
Yeah, Barney, but I mean, they're just the three of us now.
Barney, we got a disturbance over in Canal?
You and Dietrich. I'll adapt.
Hey, good cookie.
Okay, in the cage. Have a pleasant evening.
You're in my light. Kick it.
Thank you.
I didn't do it for you.
Look, I don't know how long I'll be in here. I don't know how long you will. But, I'm Barney.
You reading?
No.
Good. I don't like being ignored.
So, when do they serve breakfast around here?
Sooner or later.
Thank you.
The guy before you always used to give me his milk.
Okay, I just need a little for the coffee.
We'll talk about it later, huh?
All right.
Arthur? You're late.
You're right.
Bojo was already here. He had to go out on a call alone. Look, Arthur, I realize it's not that big a deal. It's just that I think we all want to keep the squad room running as smoothly as possible. So as long as I've been put in charge, I think I'm entitled to the same respect you'd give to Barney.
Sure.
Good. Oh, how you coming with those quarterly crime statistics?
Threw 'em in the garbage.
Okay.
I'm beginning to get used to this place.
Well, that's good.
Hey, anything from Barney yet?
We haven't heard anything.
Well, I hope he's not dead.
Us too. Woj, what do we got?
Well, they got hit again. Last night, some creep kicked in the back door of the thrift shop.
Oh, wonderful.
That's what Barney always says.
Well, he doesn't own it.
Sergeant, I made a quick inventory while we were there. I'm afraid they made off with over $500 worth of hockable merchandise.
They took my Motorola. It was the first radio I fixed as a recovering alcoholic on the work therapy program. It only got one station. All news in Korean. But to me, anyway, it was special.
Don't worry about it, Raymond. We'll find it.
What are we gonna do?
Hey, maybe we should try going undercover.
Oh, yeah?
Sure. We could put you in one of them get-ups. You could circulate, move around the various facilities, and see what you can find out.
This is not a get-up.
Huh?
This is a uniform of a Salvationist, Sergeant, a religious garment, not a Halloween costume. And regardless, I can't sanction it being used in the manner that you've suggested.
Okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Melinda, he just didn't know. You know, it's his first day in charge.
I understand.
Yeah. Look, let's fill out the report, and then I'll go back down there and just mingle around a little bit. Dress like this.
That'd be fine.
Is that all right with you?
Oh, fine.
Visiting hour is 20 minutes. No shouting, no abusive language, no passing of notes.
Hey, yes, sir.
Sorry. It's a nice family.
We were going to break you out, but they took our guns.
Well, I appreciate the thought.
Look, Barney, we're on lunch, so we haven't got a lot of time.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Look, Barney, did you hear anything from the department yet?
Not a word. How about you?
Nothing.
Oh. Well, how was your night?
Well, all things considered, not too bad. I'm not used to sleeping alone.
Be thankful.
So, everything okay, Barney?
Well, you know, within reason.
Yeah, well, you need anything?
Nothing I can think of now.
Well, I guess we really better be going, Barney.
Yeah.
Take it easy, huh?
Okay. Good seeing you.
Cake's in the mail.
We're all with you, sir.
What's that?
It's the yellow ribbons. I had one left over. I figured, the hell, you're worth it.
Thank you.
Have a good day one, sir.
Let's go.
Yeah, look, I'll catch up with you in a minute, all right?
Oh, yeah, sure. See you, Barney.
Boy, I'm fine. I'm really fine.
This is about me.
Oh.
And Lieutenant Holly?
Lieutenant Holly?
Yeah, you know, the officer from the Salvation Army I'm working with?
Oh, the Salvation Army, right.
Yeah, well, thing is that I really like her. And I think that she likes me. But the other thing is that she's ordained. And then so they're not supposed to get serious except, with their own kind. So I don't know.
Whoa, Joe, you're talking to a man in jail.
Yeah.
I sleep 2 feet from a toilet. I share a cell with a lunatic who won't leave my breakfast alone. I'm sure you can appreciate it's a little difficult to focus in on your problems with women.
Yeah, right. I'll wait in your office.
So, you follow sports much?
She did.
Oh.
She loved hockey. The physical contact and violence excited her.
Really?
You a hockey fan, Barney?
I go to an occasional Ranger game, yeah.
You must have seen her.
I really wouldn't know.
Sure you would. She was the blonde in the black dress with a slit up the side.
I'd have to think.
She knew the effect it had on men, and I guess you were no different. Pardon me? First, a little small talk, eh, Barney? Then a couple of drinks at the club level. Then back to the Plaza Hotel. Or maybe you suggested the Pierre. Less conspicuous, I agree. Listen. In the hotel room, champagne on ice. And then you made love. Her flesh intermingling with yours. And then you paused once in a while so that you could share a laugh at my expense. Finally, when the sun came up, you both went your separate ways.
Look.
And now, they have put you in the same cell with me. Can you imagine the odds in a thing like that?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Sergeant Harris.
Is Wojo not back?
Haven't seen him.
What you got, Levin?
It's another article on the captain's plight.
Oh. They seem to be getting smaller.
This was on page 14 of the food section.
That's the way it always is. First day it's big news. A couple of days go by, people lose interest.
Yeah.
You got the sports?
Hey, guys. Any luck, boy? Well, spent half the night at the Harbor Light Center. And then staked out that other thrift shop, and nothing happened. Well, give it another shot tonight, huh? All right. How's Barney? Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. Well, didn't you talk to him yesterday? I thought you would. No, I've been on his detail.
I went away for the weekend.
I wrote him a letter. Go Precinct Levitt.
Yeah, let's go see him tomorrow. Yeah, sure.
Alarm just went off at the Salvation Army Senior Center on Houston.
Ah, you and Wooch. Dietrich, I'll be in my office.
Got these crime statistics for you.
Hey, thank you, Arthur. Could have typed them.
Could have had them framed.
You decide.
How you doing? Hi, guys. Barney?
Ray, what are you doing here?
Well, I came to visit you.
And they just let you in?
Yeah, well, the Army has a prisoner outreach program. I come here twice a week to give advice and guidance.
Huh.
You want some?
No offense, Ray. Just not in the mood, huh?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. I wish I did.
Say something, Barney?
No.
Sound like something.
I didn't say anything. Just wish somebody would explain to me
Why, a man who's committed over 20 years of his life to what he knows is right deserves to wind up in a rat hole like this.
That's a tough question.
He has just got caught in the machinery. The victim of some perverse higher order that condemns me to sit here and rot while my lawyer tells me to be patient.
These things don't happen overnight.
Oh, don't I know it? First, the department's got to take it under advisement with the commissioner, who's out taking a late lunch with the DA, who's wishing to God the damn judge would come to some accommodation with my attorney, who keeps telling me to be patient.
Come on, boy, take it easy.
I'm sorry, Ray. I didn't mean to lay this all on you. I just beginning to feel like the longer I'm here, the longer I'm going to have to stay.
It's always darkest before the dawn. Hope you don't mind my sneaking that one in.
Listen, I really appreciate you coming.
So you want me to bring anything? Books, magazines?
I'll take a Life magazine, October 8, 1943.
I'll work on it. Take care.
I was on the cover.
Let's go, Miller. Judge wants to see you.
I saw him this morning.
And you're going to see him again. Come on.
Barney, where are you going?
The court.
I suppose that makes you something special.
Hey, why don't you shut your big fat mouth?
I thought we were friends.
We are.
Then why did you destroy my marriage?
Inside, Duncan.
What, no movie this time?
Why, you want to see stars?
Oh, clever.
So, what do we got here?
Arthur Duncan. Picked him up over at the senior center. He was in the arts and crafts room trying to make off with a sewing machine and a couple of cartons of yarn.
They weren't even sweaters yet.
Don't I know you from someplace?
Maybe. I used to play the accordion.
Sergeant Harris, if you recall, Mr. Duncan was previously arrested by Sergeant Wojciechowicz and myself for assaulting the handicapped.
Oh, sure. You were the guy who went around mugging blind people in wheelchairs, right?
Thanks for remembering.
And on the way down, he confessed to the other Salvation Army break-ins.
Why not? All I ever got there was junk. I gave most of it to Goodwill. Goodwill.
Levitt, talking.
Over here, Duncan.
You got him?
Yeah, we did. And you're just in time to sign a complaint.
No, thank you. I'll just take him with me.
You're still saying that you don't want to press charges?
No. Not if Mr.
Arthur Duncan.
Mr. Duncan agrees to go down to the center for a chat.
I have no plans.
Look, Melinda, this guy isn't worth it. He's got priors as long as your arm. He's going to take off the minute you hit the street.
I don't think he will.
I give you my word.
Turn him loose.
Barney, you're out. Hey, Barney. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, Bud, how are you?
Hey, where you been?
Just dropped by to let you guys know I was released.
Well, we were going to come down and see you tomorrow.
Saved you a trip.
What happened? Did you give them a name?
No.
No, I knew that.
I guess the judge figured that between the two of us, we were doing a fine job of destroying each other's careers, so he postponed the trial a couple of weeks. He's going to try and work out some kind of compromise.
Sorry, you feel okay?
Yeah. Just going to clean up and head on home.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Raymond, would you see to Mr. Duncan, and I'll join you later?
Okay, Arthur. We're going to the center now.
Oh. Where do you guys keep your donuts? I looked all over for them.
That's the USO.
Oh, wrong army.
Yeah.
You know, it's a waste of time trying to convert that guy.
He won't be the first one I've lost.
Yeah, right.
Look, maybe we can arrest him again sometime.
You know, I'm usually not attracted to women like you.
Oh.
I mean, that usually, I don't know why, but I seem to gravitate toward the types who are less upright. You know, you were never a hooker, were you? Well, good.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Let's get this damn cell cleaned up, okay?
Yes? Barney? I was, just enjoying the last few moments of power.
Anticipating a lengthy stay?
No, I just, brought in a couple of things, thought I would, personalize it a little.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ira. Hi, Dietrich.
Hey, Carl.
Coffee's not ready yet.
Sorry, I can wait.
Did you do anything last night?
Went to the movies.
Foreign film?
Three Stooges Festival at the Gramercy.
Really? I wouldn't have thought you went in for that sort of thing.
Kidding, they're my favorites. I think they're one of the most underrated comedy teams of the 30s and 40s. Surrealistic use of violence and mayhem. The almost Chekhovian interplay between Curly and Moe.
I like the ones with Shemp.
I don't think we have anything further to say to each other.
Can I help you?
I want to report kidnapping.
Okay, I'm Sergeant Wojciechowicz. You want to have a seat over here at my desk? Come on. You're Miss,
Lawson, Christine Lawson. Somebody's taken her.
Okay, you just sit down and relax, all right? Come on. Okay, Miss Lawson. Tell me who was kidnapped?
Victoria Ellen. She's never done anything to him.
All right. When did you see her last?
About 7:30 last night.
All right, now. Miss Lawson, that's not a long time ago. Are you sure she didn't just go somewhere by herself?
It's impossible.
Okay, it's just that if it is a kidnapping, we may have to call in the FBI.
Good.
Okay, then, let's get some more information. What's her address?
418 Christopher Street. That's where my shop is.
What shop is that?
The shop I own. Christine's dolls and miniatures.
Does she have a room there, or?
No. She mostly stays in the window.
Huh. Are we talking about a doll?
Yes. Should I have mentioned that earlier?
Sure, I realize expert legal assistance isn't cheap, but I still don't understand why it costs so much. I mean, look, you're billing me here for 37 hours of work at $165 an hour. Yeah, I mean, just what does that time include? Research? Yeah. Depositions, filings, I understand. Telephone consultation with the client. Do you mean like now? Bye.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Captain.
Harris?
Barney, this lawsuit is a nightmare.
I assume you're referring to Blood on the Badge et al.?
Barney, it's costing me a fortune in legal fees already, and we haven't even gone to trial yet.
Yeah, well...
And I'm not so sure we're ready to go to trial, and it starts in 10 days.
I know.
Huh?
I was handed this morning.
Barney, I didn't tell them to subpoena you.
It's not from you, it's from Rittner's attorneys.
You mean they want you to testify for their side? Oh, they must be out of their minds.
Well, I was present during most of the incidents in question, and I guess they figured my testimony would be helpful.
So, just out of curiosity, Barn, what do you plan on saying?
I don't know. Whatever questions they ask me, I'll answer them as truthfully, as honestly as possible.
Oh.
Hey, look, I'm not...
Oh, it's okay, Barn. I mean, we can always rip you apart during cross-examination.
Come on, Bart. This is Miss Christine Lawson. This is Captain Miller. Miss Lawson owns a doll shop over in Christopher, and somebody broke in last night and stole one of her dolls.
You ransacked her house and rummaged through her personal things.
Apparently it's worth about $5,000.
5,000? I take it this is an antique.
She'll be 136 in April.
I see.
She originally belonged to Gustav, Crown Prince of Bavaria. He never married.
Well, Miss Lawson, I assure you we'll do everything we can to retrieve her. Harris, you and Roger want to check it out?
I just hope they don't mistreat her. She's not used to being touched by strange people.
Let's keep a good thought.
Captain got a disturbance on Broadway.
All right, you and...
Shemp.
Never let you forget.
Yeah. She's about 1'10", 3.5 pounds, blonde hair, porcelain complexion, wearing an Austrian wedding gown. No, she's not in trouble. We just want to talk to her.
You know, it's not just the $5,000 it would cost to replace her that concerns me. It's just that I've had Victoria in my shop for nearly 3 years now, and, well, you grow attached to things.
I understand.
I remember the day I bought her. I was in a little toy store in Vienna. They had her sitting in a rocking chair. I remember wondering if this little piece of cloth and china was really worth $200.
That's what you paid for her?
Uh-huh.
That means she's appreciated 2,500% in 3 years?
Dolls are an excellent hedge against inflation.
Oh.
And you can dress them, too.
I think I'd like that.
Yes?
Well, I mean, I think I might be interested in adopting one or two.
You'd give them a good home?
Oh, I've got a safe deposit box just waiting for them.
Pardon me.
Inside, Buck Rogers.
I'm telling you, I have reservations.
So do we.
Captain, this is Eugene Corbett. Disorderly conduct, destruction of private property. We picked him up at the Goddard Institute for Space Studies.
It's a research foundation funded by NASA. Mr. Corbett was creating a disturbance in the reception area.
I was just trying to get my seat confirmed.
What seat?
On the space shuttle. I'm going.
Nice.
Unfortunately, the NASA people don't. They deny any knowledge of Mr. Corbett.
But I have a ticket. Now, you show him.
Okay. According to Mr. Corbett, he paid a man outside the planetarium $500 for this.
He said he was from the Space Administration. Advanced sales.
NASA Champagne Shuttle. Departing Cape Canaveral, Florida, 10 a.m., April 7th, 1981. Returning Edwards Air Force Base, April 8th, 1981.
You see? I have a window seat. Non-smoking.
Mr. Corbett, I suspect there's a strong possibility you've been defrauded.
You mean you say you think the guy really wasn't with NASA?
I would tend to doubt it.
But, I mean, he had an ID card, he had an emblem on his jacket, he even showed me some moon rocks.
They're pressing charges?
Yeah, man from NASA's coming down.
All right, Mr. Corbett, we're going to need some more information about the man who sold you this ticket. We're also going to have to book you.
I guess you think I was pretty stupid, huh?
We've seen worse.
Just that I've had a dream of always going up there. Figured this was my only chance.
We're not unsympathetic, but I'm afraid we're still going to have to book you.
Okay, Dietrich.
All right, Mr. Corbett. Want to take one small step over here?
It's a sucker born every minute, eh, sir?
I'm afraid so.
Maybe I can book the next one.
Barney?
Yeah.
I checked with pawn shops, other antique stores in the area, but no luck.
Done something to her, I know it.
There's really no reason.
They probably had their way with her, and then just tossed her out of a car.
Just
At this very moment, she's probably lying in some back alley, torn and humiliated.
I'm certain she's fine. At this very moment, I bet Sergeant Wojciechowicz is on his way back here with some further information.
You want me to start calling doll hospitals?
Just a thought.
It's coffee. We're all out of tang.
Oh, that's all right. I go through a jar pretty fast myself.
What's your business address?
14th Street and Park. Siegel's department store. I'm an optician. I've got my own booth right between Keys While You Wait and the immigration attorneys.
What's your home address?
916 West 25th Street, Terrace View Apartments. You know, nobody cares about space anymore. Huh? Remember how it used to be? When Shepard first went up? And then Glenn? Oh, how we used to huddle around the TV sets, holding our breath during liftoff, waiting for that crackling voice from space to tell us everything was all right.
What's your apartment number?
A.
Okay. It's like old times, huh?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Huh? Luke? Always with a different outfit, huh?
Well, Inspector, you know how fast styles change?
Yeah, sure. Sure, but to tell you the truth, some of the stuff you wear strikes me as being a little weird. You know, with the collars turned up, a purple shirt, but I like this.
You do?
Sure. That's the kind of thing I'd pick out.
Oh, please.
Oh, really? Hi, Barney.
What brings you down? Business or just a social call?
Social call? Barney, I'm on duty. The taxpayers pay me to protect their interests, not to make a social visit.
Of course.
It's personal.
Oh.
There's a difference, Barney.
Harris, Barnes?
What do you got?
Well, this was delivered a half an hour ago to Miss Lawson's doll shop.
What is it?
A ransom note.
Oh, my God.
We have your doll. If you want to see her again in one piece, put $5,000 in this box. Follow the enclosed instructions. We're not kidding the kidnappers.
I also put in a lock of her hair. And, one of her shoes.
This is really silly.
Uh-huh. Right. They're at the park. They made the drop.
What's going on, Captain?
Sergeants Wojciechowicz and Harris have placed the ransom as directed by the kidnappers.
Well, what happens now?
Now I'm afraid all they can do is wait.
You don't think those people might just take the money and not let Victoria go?
There's no reason for them to do that. She hasn't seen anything.
Oh, I hope not.
Excuse me.
Inspector, sorry,
No, it's okay, Barney. Big important case you're working on. Somebody lost their dolly. Anyway, give me a chance to go over that stuff.
What is it?
My assets, Barney.
Oh.
Decided I'd do a little accounting, figure out how much I got socked away after all these years.
It's always a good idea.
And it's no sniveling little sum either, Barney.
I'm sure it isn't.
Of course, it would have been hard for me not to stash away some cash after all these years. I mean, living the way I do, 20 years in that dingy one-room apartment, cooking off a hot plate, eating out some greasy spoon.
Inspector.
And then, too, I never got married, Barney, never had any kids.
Inspector.
I've been lucky, Barney.
Inspector, exactly what is it you need to know from me?
What do I do with it? As you know, Barney, you're my sole heir to my estate.
Inspector.
Whatever's in the pot when the old inspector checks out all goes to you, Barney.
Really, Inspector?
I want you to have it, Barney.
Fine.
Okay. As my beneficiary, I thought maybe you'd have an opinion as to what I could do with it in the interim.
Inspector, all I can say is don't save it for me.
What else can I do with it, Barney?
No. Take a trip somewhere. Buy yourself a new car. Do something crazy with it.
Yeah? Yeah, I've always wanted to take a trip down to Florida.
Sure.
Visit their swamp.
That's nice.
Now, that only cost me a few $100, Barney.
Of course.
And that'd still leave me with $233,000.
Beg your pardon?
Yeah, that's what I'm stuck with, Barney. $233,400, a few odd pennies to be exact. And you think I ought to do something crazy with it, huh?
Within reason.
Oh, excuse me. Alvin Swift, Space Shuttle Public Relations.
Sergeant Dietrich. I guess you're here to see Mr. Corbett?
Yes. I would like to take care of this as soon as possible. I'm running a little behind schedule.
No kid.
Yes, but I'm still a bit unclear as to all the details.
Well, it seems that somebody sold Mr. Corbett a seat on your shuttle for $500.
But we would have taken it. Well, what with the current budgetary reductions, we gratefully accept any monetary donations from the private sector.
Want to have a seat over
As a
here?
matter of fact, a scout group in Nebraska is raising money to help pay for the Viking project.
I gave it to Kate.
Oh, sure.
All right, come on. Get inside here, Montoya.
I trusted you guys.
Well, that was stupid.
Where's Victoria?
Victoria's coming.
Here she is.
Is she all okay?
Hey, I didn't touch her.
Barn, this is Joseph Montoya. He's our kidnappers.
We staked out the garbage can. After about a half hour, Montoya pedaled up on his bicycle and grabbed the box. He didn't even look inside. So we just followed him back to his apartment and got the doll.
Hey, the deal was you give me the money, I give you the doll. We had an agreement.
So?
Well, so it ain't fair. Hey, put yourself in my shoes for a second, man. They got her sitting up there in that window. The card says she's worth $5,000. I mean, I figure I could fence her for $2,000 easy, right? Wrong. Every place I take her, they make fun of me. What's your dolly's name? Does she have a friend for me? It was humiliating.
So you decided to ransom her instead? Huh?
They do it with pets.
Montoya, do you want to just take a seat over there, please?
Yeah, sure thing. I'm just glad to get her out of my sight.
Yeah.
You know, the whole time I had her up in my room, making up the ransom note, she kept staring at me with those little beady eyes, like I was doing something to her. Like she was human.
Man, look, don't worry about it. You don't have to see her again until she testifies at the trial.
That ain't funny.
Miss Lawson will notify you as to your court date.
That's fine. Thank you so much.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid Victoria's going to have to stay here. Just till the trial. She's evidence now.
But she's been through so much already.
Believe me, she'll be fine.
Well, you are going to keep her here with you.
Oh, of course. We have a room right upstairs, a property room.
Oh.
But we'll look in on her from time to time.
Thank you. No, Captain, I know she's really just a doll. It's just that sometimes she seems so real. You forget.
I understand.
Oh, and when are visiting hours?
Anytime.
Thank you.
Captain, this is Mr. Swift from NASA. This is Captain Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Swift.
Sir, I really would like to get on with this. I've already canceled one appointment and moved back another.
Oh, certainly. Taggart. Look, Mr. Swift, I assume Sergeant Dietrich has pointed out the extenuating circumstances in this case?
Well, yes. Now, we don't like to pursue this, but Mr. Corbett did break one of our shuttle models, costing over $75, and we just don't have the money to replace it.
I'll pay for it.
Oh. Well, it might come close to $100.
Fine.
Is that a deal?
Sure.
Dietrich, turn him loose.
I'll give you all the money you want for your shuttle. I just want it to come along, huh?
Well, Mr. Corbett, we certainly will take your money, but I'm afraid no passenger flights are, as of yet, scheduled. Although, they are envisioned by the end of this decade.
I can't wait that long.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Although, they are looking for mission specialists.
Yeah?
Yes, now that requires no pilot status. You just have to have some kind of necessary skill. Do you have any of those?
No, I'm just an optician.
An optician? Really?
Yeah, I have a degree and a booth at Siegel's.
Well, now, it just so happens we are sending up a space telescope in '84. And we are looking for a few good opticians.
You're kidding.
Of course, you'd have to apply to the necessary agencies. But if you have the right qualifications, who knows? A couple of years, you may be in orbit, Mr. Corbett.
I'll do that.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And as they say on the Cape, all systems are go, so I will.
All right, Mr. Corbett. Time to sign for your valuables.
Oh, thank you. I can't believe I'm really going.
I know.
Wish me luck, huh?
Good luck. All right, here you go. And listen, don't worry about the tiles.
What tiles?
The heat protective tiles that cover the shuttle. During test flights, there was a problem with them falling off.
Yeah?
And of course, the loss of even a few critically placed tiles during the actual flight could cause the interior of the shuttle to be exposed to temperatures of 2,800 degrees during re-entry.
And I burn easily.
Wear a hat.
Thank you.
Sir, can I take Miss Vicky now?
Oh.
I'm going to bring her up to the property room. I can't understand how somebody would pay $5,000 for this.
People do strange things with their money.
Barney?
Yes, sir.
They make a nice couple. I think I'll be shoving out, Barney.
Get Inspector.
Oh, listen, what we were talking about in there, I think I'll just leave all that dough sitting there. Compounding daily for you, so...
Inspector.
When the old inspector cashes in his chips...
Inspector, there's no reason to talk like this. You're going to be around for a long time.
Ah, good one.
I might even go before you.
Maybe we'll go together, Barney. Just kidding, Barney. Now, listen, just because I got all that money that you're going to be getting, I don't want it to alter our relationship.
Believe
Barney.
me, it won't.
I don't want you to feel you're going to have to start being nice to me. You understand? If I get on your nerves, you just tell me off. If I get out of line, just kick me out. Just don't poison me, Barney.
Didn't look at him at all. If only Mum could see us now, he whispered to the night. He remembered the promise he'd made to her on her deathbed. He'd promised to look after Rodney. He'd promised to make something of themselves. And for a while, he'd done it. He'd reached the summit, but the fall had been long and hard. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the 1-pound coin from the Gold Rush show. He flipped it in the air and caught it. Heads, we're back in the money, he muttered. Tails, well, tails, we just try harder. He looked at the coin. It was tails. Dell smiled. That's my boy, always playing hard to get. He turned back into the flat, his mind already spinning with new ideas, new angles, new ways to turn the world in his favor. Because Derek Trotter wasn't just a salesman, he was a survivor. And as long as there was a deal to be made, a story to be told, and a brother to argue with, he was exactly where he belonged. Good night, Peckham, he said, closing the balcony door. Sleep well, because tomorrow the Phoenix is going to do some shopping. Chapter 21, Meeting Nervous Nick. The rendezvous point was a derelict garage in a part of Bermondsey that even the rats avoided. The air smelled of damp cardboard and secrets. Dell adjusted his camel hair coat, trying to look like a high-level procurement officer rather than a man who had just spent his last tenner on petrol. Rodney followed, his eyes darting toward every shadow. Dell, I really don't like this. Nervous Nick is called nervous for a reason, usually because he's about to be arrested. He's just high-strung, Rodney, Dell whispered. Genius often is. A man emerged from behind a stack of rusted oil drums. He was twitching so violently that his glasses were barely staying on his nose. This was Nervous Nick. You got the money? Nick stammered, his eyes scanning the empty street. I've got the backing of a major international syndicate, Nick, Dell said, patting his empty chest pocket. But first, we see the gear, the lasers. Nick led them to a crate covered in a greasy tarpaulin. With a flourish that sent his hat flying, he pulled it back. Inside were rows of sleek, silver cylinders with blinking red lights. There they are, Nick whispered. Laser guided, high precision, straight from a high-tech facility in the north. Rodney leaned in, looking at a cylinder. Dell, these look like industrial barcode scanners. Shh, Dell hissed. They're diagnostic tools. Rodney, diagnostic. Nick, how many have you got? 50 units. Take 'em now for $5,000, and I'll throw in the cables. Dell looked at Rodney, his eyes wide with greed. Rodney, at $5,000, that's only £100 a unit. We sell 'em to a private clinic for $500 each, and we've wiped out half the debt in a weekend. Del, we haven't got $5,000. Rodney cried. We have, if we use our contingency fund, Del said, avoiding Rodney's gaze. You mean the money Raquel was saving for Damien's school uniform? It's an investment. Rodney, Damien will have a uniform made of gold by the time we're finished. Chapter 22, The Master's Pitch. Boyke sat in his garden, a glass of expensive-looking champagne in one hand and a cigar the size of a small tree in the other. He looked at Del and Rodney as if they were a particularly unconvincing set of garden gnomes. So, Derek, Boyke drawled, his voice a nasal symphony of condescension. I hear you've been appearing on television. A very moving performance. I especially like the bit where you lost 50,000 pounds because you didn't know your classics. It was a technicality. Boyke, Del shot back, trying to keep his cool. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about show business. I'm here to offer you a piece of the future. He opened a small briefcase to reveal one of the silver cylinders. Boyke leaned forward, squinting. And what exactly is this? A very expensive pencil case. It's a laser-guided pathological scanner. Boyke, Del said, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. Straight from the R&D labs in Switzerland. It can detect anything from a common cold to a midlife crisis. Boyke picked it up, weighing it. It looks remarkably like a checkout scanner from a supermarket in Croydon. That's the clever part. Del beamed. It's built into a familiar casing to prevent patient anxiety. High tech. Low stress. These are going to be in every private hospital in London by Christmas. I've got the exclusive distribution rights. Rodney cleared his throat. Well, technically, Trotter's Independent Traders is the sole procurement agent. Boyke let out a short, sharp laugh that sounded like a seagull choking on a chip. Healthcare, Derek, you can't even diagnose a leak in your own radiator. I'm talking about the margins, Boyke, Del urged. 30% return in 30 days. Guaranteed. Boyke put the cylinder back. I'll tell you what, Del, I'll take 10 of them at £100 each. Not a penny more. Del's face fell. 100? Boyke, I paid more than that myself. Then you're even more of a dipstick than I thought, Boyke said, standing up. Now, if you'll excuse me, Marlene is calling. We're having a very expensive lunch. Chapter 23, The Laser Reveal. Back at the flat, the living room was filled with silver cylinders. Rodney was sitting on the floor, surrounded by instruction manuals that were written entirely in what appeared to be simplified Chinese. Del, Rodney said, his voice trembling, I found the translation for the model number. Del, who was busy trying to buff the Made in China stickers off the cylinders, didn't look up. And, does it say precision medical tool? No, Rodney said, standing up. It says industrial poultry sexer. Del froze. A what? A poultry sexer. Del, it's a laser tool used in high-speed chicken factories to determine if a chick is a boy or a girl. Del stared at the cylinder in his hand. He pressed the button, and a tiny red laser beam shot out, hitting a picture of Uncle Albert on the wall. But it's laser-guided. Nick said. Nick is a conman. Del, we've spent Damien's uniform money on 50 machines that tell you if a chicken is a rooster. The silence in the flat was absolute. Then, from the hallway, came the sound of Raquel's keys in the door. Oh, no, Rodney whispered. Del, if she sees these, she's going to sex us both with a rolling pin. Quick, under the sofa, Del hissed. They spent the next 10 minutes frantically shoving silver cylinders under the furniture, just as Raquel walked in. Hello, boys, she said, looking around suspiciously. Why is everything moved? And why is there a red dot on Uncle Albert's nose? It's a new security system, sweetheart, Del said, sweating. Trotter Tech Security. We're testing the perimeter. Raquel sighed. Del, please tell me you haven't bought more junk. Junk? Raquel. This is the future. Chicken. I mean, security is the future. Chapter 24, Domestic Turbulence. The fallout from the laser deal was swift and painful. Raquel discovered the cylinders within 48 hours, mostly because the cat had learned how to trigger the lasers, turning the living room into a low-budget disco. 50 poultry sexers. Derek, Raquel yelled, her voice echoing through the tower block. We could have bought Damien a new wardrobe. We could have paid the rent for 3 months. It's an emerging market. Raquel, Del pleaded, cowering behind the armchair. The organic chicken industry is booming. Everyone wants to know the gender of their poultry. Rodney was no help either. He had taken to wearing his Spartacus tunic around the flat as a form of silent protest. If anyone needs me, Rodney said, walking through the kitchen with a wooden spoon, I'll be in the Coliseum or the local job center. Oh, shut up, you tart, Del snapped. I'm working on a pivot. A business pivot. He retreated to the balcony, the one place he could think. He looked out over Peckham and saw Boyke's Mercedes driving past far below. He knew Boyke was laughing at him. He knew everyone was. But as he looked at the silver cylinder in his hand, an idea began to form. It was a crazy idea. A stupid idea. A Trotter idea. Rodney, Del shouted, bursting back into the room. I've got it. We don't sell M to farmers. We sell M to the entertainment industry. The what? Laser tag, Rodney. We market M as pro-level laser tag kits for high-end corporate away days. We tell M it's a tactical training tool used by the SAS. Rodney looked at the poultry sexer. He looked at Del. For a second, a spark of the old madness returned to his eyes. Tactical training. For corporate away days? Exactly. Trotter Tactical. It's a new branch of the company. Chapter 25. The Phoenix prepares to fly. It was Friday night at the Nag's Head. Dell stood at the bar, a silver cylinder tucked into his waistband like a futuristic weapon. "All right, Trig," Dell said, nodding at his friend. "All right, Dell, what's that on your hip?" "A fancy new torch." "It's a tactical marking device," Trig, Dell said, winking. "Standard issue for the elite squads. I'm organizing a tournament next weekend. 20 quid an entry. Winner gets a bottle of my finest champagne." "Sounds dangerous," Trigger said, looking impressed. "Can I be the referee?" "You're hired," Dell beamed. He looked across the bar and saw Rodney talking to a group of young city types who had wandered in from the more gentrified parts of town. Rodney was gesturing wildly with an electronic personal organizer and a silver cylinder. "And the beauty of the Trotter Tactical System," Rodney was saying, his voice filled with newfound confidence, "is the haptic feedback. It's so precise it's practically clinical." Dell watched his brother and felt a surge of pride. They were back in the game. They weren't millionaires, yet they weren't even thousandaires, but the wheels were turning. The yellow van was still outside, the debt was still there, and they were still the Trotters. "I'll fetch the suitcase from the van," Dell whispered to himself, a small, knowing smile on his face. Because in Peckham, the seasons might change and the tides might turn, but a Trotter always has one more card to play. "Mange tout, Rodney," Dell muttered, raising his glass of cognac. "Mange tout." Chapter 26. The Peckham Open. The communal hallway of Nelson Mandela House had been transformed into what Dell called an urban combat theater. In reality, it was a collection of empty cardboard boxes, discarded washing machines, and several miles of yellow tactical tape that Dell had acquired from a confused road worker. "Right then, listen up," Dell shouted, standing on a crate of bottled water. He was wearing a headband made from an old tie and a camouflage vest that was clearly 3 sizes too small. "Welcome to the inaugural Peckham Open. This is where the men are separated from the boys, and the boys are marked for life by high-intensity poultry sexing technology." The participants were a diverse group. There was Trigger, wearing a high-visibility jacket for no apparent reason, Denzel, who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else, Mickey Pierce, who had actually brought his own camouflage face paint, and 3 bewildered accountancy students that Rodney had lured in from the local library. "The rules are simple," Rodney added, trying to maintain an air of professional authority despite the Spartacus tunic he was still stubbornly wearing. "If you get hit by a laser, you're out. The scanner will emit a high-pitched beep to signify a confirmed mark." Actually, one of the students noted, the device is emitting a chirping sound and the screen says "pull it." "That's a tactical code," Dell interjected quickly. "Pull it means point under lethal laser engagement target. Now, let the games begin. He blew a whistle, and the hallway erupted into chaos. Trigger immediately took cover behind a recycling bin and accidentally scanned himself, resulting in a series of frantic beeps that informed the entire floor he was a great cockerel. Chapter 27, Friendly Fire. The battle raged for 30 minutes. Mickey Pierce was surprisingly agile, diving over boxes and tagging anyone who moved. However, the machine's original programming began to interfere with the combat simulation. Denzel yelled, pinned down behind a sofa. "My gun keeps saying I'm underweight. It won't fire." "Shake it, Denzel. It's the haptic feedback calibrating," Dell yelled back, while trying to flank the accounting students. The chaos reached its peak when the hallway door opened and an elderly neighbor, Mrs. Jittings, walked in carrying a bag of shopping. "Excuse me, Derek," she said, looking at the camouflage-clad men rolling around on the floor. "The lift is broken again." "Not now, Mrs. Jittings," Dell hissed, peeking out from behind a washing machine. "Can't you see we're in the middle of a high-stakes tactical exercise?" Suddenly, a red laser dot appeared on Mrs. Jittings' forehead. Mickey Pierce had made his move. The device let out a triumphant chirp. "Target identified," Mickey shouted. "Confirmed mark." Mrs. Jittings looked at the screen of Mickey's device. "It says ready for slaughter." "What does that mean, Derek?" "It's a metaphor, Mrs. Jittings," Rodney cried, running over to apologize. "It just means you've won the round. Congratulations." He frantically gestured for everyone to stop. The first Peckham Open had officially descended into a neighborhood relations disaster. Chapter 28, The Boyke Intervention. I must say, Derek, a familiar, mocking voice drawled from the entrance. The Sass really have let their standards slip. Boyke was standing at the edge of the theater, leaning against the doorframe and looking profoundly unimpressed. Beside him, Marlene was stifling a laugh. "Ah, Boyke," Dell said, standing up and trying to look dignified while covered in dust and tactical tape. "Good to see you. We're just finishing up a demonstration of the Trotter tactical system. High-level stuff. We've got interest from several private security firms." Boyke walked over to a discarded poultry sexer and picked it up. "And how exactly is this supposed to secure anything other than a local supply of eggs?" "It's the psychological impact, Boyke," Dell insisted. "The red dot, the chirping. It strikes fear into the hearts of the enemy. It strikes fear into the hearts of anyone with a basic understanding of electronics." Boyke laughed. "I'll tell you what, Dell, I've got a lot of scrap metal at the yard. If you want to dump these there, I'll give you a $5 for the lot." "A $5? Boyke, I've got 30 entries at 20 quid each. That's 600 pounds in one afternoon." "Minus the cost of the tape," Rodney whispered, "and the repairs to Mrs. Jittings' dignity." "Ignore him," Dell snapped. The phoenix is rising, Boyke, whether you like it or not. Chapter 29, The Accounting. That night, the flat was quiet. The cardboard boxes had been cleared, and the poultry sexers were back under the sofa. Rodney sat at the table with the gold Rush 1-pound coin, spinning it slowly. 600 pounds, Dell, Rodney said. It's a start, but we still owe over 48,000. Dell sat across from him, sipping a glass of cheap brandy. He looked tired, but the spark in his eyes hadn't faded. Rome wasn't built in a day, Rodney, and the Trotter Empire won't be rebuilt in a weekend. But we're moving. We're trading. I was thinking about what you said on the balcony, Rodney said. About Mom. Do you really think she'd be proud of us? Rolling around in a hallway with chicken grating machines? Dell looked at the picture of their mother on the mantelpiece. She'd be proud that we never gave up, Rodney. She knew what it was like to struggle. She knew that sometimes you have to be a bit creative to survive. He reached out and stopped the coin. It was heads. See, Dell smiled. The gods of commerce are smiling on us again, this time next year. Millionaires, Rodney finished for him. This time, he didn't say it with a sigh. He said it with a small, cautious hope. Chapter 30, Final Reflection. The yellow van sat in its usual spot outside Nelson Mandela House, a defiant splash of color against the gray concrete. It had survived the crash of the 90s, the loss of millions, and the indignity of being used to transport 50 poultry sexers. Inside the flat, Raquel was putting Damien to bed. Cassandra was finally laughing about the policewoman incident, and Dell was already planning a trip to a car boot sale in Margate. Life in Peckham wasn't easy. The bills were high, the lift was always broken, and the dreams were often larger than the reality. But as the sun set over the tower blocks, Derek Trotter stood on his balcony one more time. He felt the weight of the rings on his fingers and the history of his family in his heart. He knew the world would keep turning, the seasons would keep changing, and the tides would keep coming in. Kushti, he whispered to the night. He turned back and sighed, ready for whatever tomorrow would bring. Because a trotter is never truly defeated. They are just preparing for the next big deal. And somewhere in the mystery of where it all comes from, the suitcase was already waiting in the van. The E&D for now. The Trotter Legacy. A novelization of the fall and rise of Peckham's finest. Prologue, The Changing of the Seasons. The yellow Reliant Regal Supervan 3 rattled through the streets of Peckham like a tin can tied to a dog's tail. Behind the wheel, Derek Delboy Trotter hummed a tune that was as much a part of the London fog as the smell of diesel and damp cardboard. The van groaned at every corner, its fiberglass body vibrating with the effort of staying together, much like Dill's various business schemes. I'll fetch the suitcase from the van, he muttered to himself, the lyrics of his life playing out in his mind. 'Cause if you are the bestest, but you don't ask questions, then, brother, I'm your man. It was a philosophy that had served him well mostly. It was the philosophy of the survivor, the man who knew that where the hooky gear came from didn't matter as much as where it was going. To Del, life was an endless cycle, much like the changing of the seasons or the tides of the sea. One moment you were eating caviar in a penthouse, and the next you were back in the Nag's Head wondering if you could put a pint on the slate. But lately, the seasons had been particularly cruel. He glanced at his younger brother, Rodney, who sat in the passenger seat looking like a man who had just been told his library card had been revoked. Rodney was nervous. Rodney was always nervous, but today he looked positively translucent, his long, lanky frame folded awkwardly into the cramped cabin. "What's up with you, Rodney?" Del asked, his voice a gravelly mixture of mock concern and genuine irritation. "I'm a bit nervous, that's all," Rodney replied, adjusting his tie for the 10th time. "I mean, this bloke we're going to see, this Justin, he's not going to be asking me anything about my private life, that sort of thing, is he?" Del scoffed, shifting the van into a gear that sounded like a bag of bolts being shaken. "Of course he ain't. We're not that private, Rotters. He's a businessman, an interviewer. He wants the raison d'etre, not the under the duvet. He's not going to want to know about, me and Cassandra's little problems." Del's eyes twinkled with a mischievous, albeit dangerous, light. No, good. 'Cause otherwise I would. What problems? Me and Cassandra haven't got any problems. Rodney stared ahead. "That's not what you said to me the other night." "All right, so there's been one or two minor hiccups in the bedroom department," Rodney conceded, his voice dropping an octave as if the gear stick might be listening. "But they're personal, Del, and I told you that in confidence." All right. Keep your hair on," Del said, waving a gold-ringed hand dismissively. "I'm not going to be telling him about jiffins and things, and I won't tell him what Cassandra wears either." As they pulled up to the sleek, glass-fronted office building that served as their destination, the ghosts of their past seemed to linger in the exhaust fumes. They were no longer the millionaires of a few years back. The Trotter Tower's dream had been replaced by the familiar concrete of Nelson Mandela House. But Del Boy didn't do defeat. He did intermission. Chapter 1, The Insight. Justin was the kind of man who wore a suit that cost more than those first 3 cars combined. He sat behind a mahogany desk that was polished to such a high sheen that Del could see his own reflection, and he liked what he saw. To Justin, this was an interview. To Del, it was a pitch. "Sorry to keep you waiting," Justin said, his voice smooth and professional. "It's been a particularly busy morning. Now, I've got all the basic details about your business career, etc. But what I'd like to do is to get an insight into the real you." Del leaned back, his camel hair coat draped over the chair like the skin of a conquered beast. He crossed his legs, revealing a flash of white sock that screamed Peckham Executive. He adjusted his gold D pendant, making sure the light caught it just right. How you started, how you became so successful, Justin continued, leaning forward. But more importantly, your lives and your raison d'etre. Rodney winced at the French. Dell, however, bloomed. Oh, no. Laboratory Garney, Dell whispered, his version of liberté, eagle-eyed, fraternit mangled beyond recognition, but delivered with the confidence of a king. So, in your own words and in your own time. Dell took a deep breath, the smell of his own cigar smoke clinging to his coat providing a familiar comfort. Well, where shall I start? Justin. Well, up to a few years ago, we were just very ordinary people living. Well, very ordinary lives. Weren't we, Rodney? Weren't we? Rodney gave a stiff, mechanical nod. And then Dole's eyes went misty. As you know, one day I discovered an historic and almost priceless artifact. A watch. Not just any watch, mind you. A Harrison. The holy grail of horology. He paused for dramatic effect. Justin nodded, encouraging him. Dell spun a yarn that combined elements of Indiana Jones with a South London car boot sale. Anyway, at first, we didn't know what to do with it. Dell lied smoothly. In reality, they had nearly tripped over themselves trying to figure out how many zeros were on the end of the valuation. To begin with, we thought about donating it to the British Museum as a national treasure. Rodney cleared his throat. Yeah, and then we decided to flog it. Dell shot him a look. So, before you know, Rodders and me have come in on an eye on £6.5 million. 6.5 million, Justin. In the hand. Not a penny of it hooky. The room seemed to grow quiet as the memory of that wealth washed over them. It had been a time of helicopters and villas, of champagne that didn't taste like fermented apples, and of a world that finally seemed to recognize the genius of Trotter's independent traders. Well, after we divvied the dosh up, right, Dell continued, his voice softening. We made sure that our Uncle Albert got a nice little drink. But we thought of others first. We donated to charity. Enormously, of course. Enormously, Rodney echoed, though his mind was likely calculating the exact cost of the donations versus the cost of the cigars Dell had smoked during that period. So, eventually, we had to start thinking about our future, Dell said, the tone shifting to something more somber. So, we sought out this city stockbroker Real Diamond according to the brochures, and he advised us to invest in a new and vibrant venture. A Central American market, Rodney added, the words tasting like ash in his mouth. It was attracting massive funds from all over the world. We were told it was a sure thing. Dell nodded vigorously. We were making more money than the Royal Mint, but we weren't flat. Oh, no, no, no. We weren't flat. I mean, even when we went away on business, we always took the family with us. There would be me and Raquel, my significant other, and, of course, Rodney and Cassandra. And not forgetting my young son, Damien. Chapter 2. The High Life and the Deep Fall. The memory shifted to the sun-drenched shores of their brief paradise. Del could almost feel the heat on his back and the cold condensation of a pina colada in his hand. He remembered walking into a high-end restaurant, greeted like royalty. "Oh, Mr. Potter, it's good to see you again," the Master D had said. "Bon appetit, Dominic." "Bon appetit," Del had replied, waving a hand as if he owned the very air. It was a world of viva la vida loca, of black cats and voodoo dolls, mostly in the form of the superstitions that follow the suddenly wealthy. But beneath the surface, the premonitions were starting to stir. He remembered the chaos of family life and luxury. Cassandra, always the voice of reason, complaining about Damien's latest antics. "Ralph, you've got to have a word with Damien. People are complaining," she had said, her face flushed with embarrassment. "Oh, no. What's he done now?" Del had asked, secretly proud of his son's spirit. "He's just weed in the swimming pool." Del had laughed it off then. All little boys do enjoy a splash in the swimming pool, don't they? "Yes, Del," Cassandra had replied through gritted teeth, but not from the top of the 4-meter diving board. He was a little git, as Rodney often said, but he was a trotter, and for a while it felt like the trotter name was written in the stars. They talked about Uncle Albert, who was enjoying his retirement on the coast, living in sin with Elsie Partridge. Old Uncle Albert, he'd love it here. Rodney had mused during a quiet evening by the ocean, right next door to the sea, just like the war. "Yeah," Del had agreed. "At least we haven't got to sit through the Battle of the Baltic every night. During the war. But then the tide turned, not with a roar, but with the quiet tap of a keyboard. The stock market crash was like a wave that swept away their sand castles. It turned out that negotiations between the Central American countries had collapsed. Del explained to Justin, the pain evident in his eyes. Yeah, it was wiped out. Every penny. Nicked the lot. The transition from Mr. Potter to that bloke who owes us for the minibar had been instantaneous. They had paid for the hotel on a credit card, a card that was withdrawn before the ink on the receipt was dry. But Derek is, if nothing else, a very creative businessman, Rodney told the interviewer, a hint of genuine respect breaking through his usual cynicism. He came up with a solution to our dilemma. Up there, Del had shouted, pointing to a flight path that would lead them back to the reality of Peckham. The news hit the UK faster than a rumor in the Nag's Head. Suddenly, their business associates weren't returning calls. The penthouse was gone. The peacocks were gone. They were cast into a financial wilderness, returning to the only place that would have them, Nelson Mandela House. Chapter 3, The Trial of Friends. The return to Peckham wasn't just about losing money, it was about the fallout. Their friend Mike Fisher, the landlord of the Nag's Head, had invested his life savings into the Trotters' venture. He had remortgaged the pub, betting everything on Del Boy's sure thing. Now, Mike was in prison, awaiting trial for embezzlement, a desperate attempt to recoup the losses. Never was a man more innocent, Del insisted to the interviewer, his voice cracking. The scene shifted in Del's mind to the courthouse corridor. The air was thick with the scent of cheap floor wax and anxiety. Denzel was pacing, his footsteps echoing like a ticking clock. For God's sake, Denzel, sit down. Albert had said, the memory of his voice sharp and clear. You're wearing the marble out. I can't, Albert, can I? Denzel had replied, I've never been a character witness before. I'm worried. I think Dole's made a terrible mistake, having us for as witnesses. It's like inviting the Manson family to dinner. Trigger, ever the enigma, had looked up from a crumpled newspaper. I'm going to tell them I hear voices. No, Trig, Rodney had sighed. You're not on trial. You're a character witness. I know, Trigger had said simply, but I hear voices. It had been a disaster. The Trotters lost their homes. Dole's estate with the peacocks became a dream that was auctioned off to pay the interest on the interest. Every day there was more rows, more bad news. Del told Justin, we thought things couldn't possibly get worse. Oh, boy, how wrong we were. Chapter 4, The Empty Chair. The blow that hurt the most wasn't financial. It was the call from Elsie Partridge's son, Uncle Albert, the man who had survived torpedoes, shipwrecks, Endel's cooking, had finally reached his final port. The funeral was a blur of black coats and the biting cold of a London winter. Del felt a profound sense of guilt. They had been off globe-trotting while Albert had been in a rest home, his wartime stories falling on the ears of strangers. I feel bad, you know, Del whispered to Rodney as they stood by the hearse, leaving him here on his own while we was all off in Barbados. He wasn't on his own. Del, Rodney tried to comfort him. He had Elsie's family. But the funeral itself turned into a classic Trotter farce. They stood among the mourners, listening to tales of a man named Bunny who was a hero in the RAF. Why did you call him Bunny? Del asked a grieving relative. Well, that's what they called him in the RAF, didn't they? Because his surname was Warren. Del froze. He looked at the coffin. He looked at the headstone. He looked at the mourning family who were definitely not the Warrens he knew. Ooh, Del whispered, his face turning the color of his beige coat. We're at the wrong funeral. They had spent an hour mourning a complete stranger. It was the kind of moment that would have made Albert roar with laughter, or perhaps start a story about the time he buried a Commodore in the wrong hemisphere during the war. Chapter 5, The Gold Rush. Back in the present, the weight of the inland revenue hung over them like a guillotine. 48,750 for pounds. That was the magic number, plus interest. It was a figure that seemed designed to keep them in the concrete canyons of Peckham forever. So, what are we going to do? Then, Dad, Damien asked, his young face mirroring his father's stubbornness. I suppose you could always look for a job, Raquel suggested gently. Trigger said they're recruiting down at his depot. Road sweeping. The thought of Rodney the man with to G.C. East bushing a broom was too much for Dell. I'm a trader, ain't I? Dell declared, his eyes catching the light of the flickering television. I've been trading all my life. I could sell rice to the Chinese. He had a plan. He was going to become the manager of a new firm. Since he was disqualified from running a company, he would make Rodney the managing director. Rodney Trotter, Dell beamed, the new face of Trotter's independent traders. You'll be in charge of sales, purchasing, and finance. I'll just be the consultant. But the debt remained, and then the flickering screen provided an answer. Gold Rush, the fastest game show on TV, hosted by Jonathan Ross. I'm going to apply, Dell said. Rodney laughed. Dell, last night one of the questions was who introduced the potato to England. And you said King Edward. I didn't hear the question properly. Dell snapped. But he did it. He got on. The night of the show was a fever dream. The lights were too bright, and Jonathan Ross's suit was even more expensive than Justin's. Dell stood there, representing fine wines, the theater, and 16th century Italian Renaissance art. He sailed through the first round by pure luck. Kilimanjaro. Yes, because Fuji made cameras. He was moving up the Rainbow Road. Then came the moment. The 50,000 pounds question. The penalty question that could save him or sink him. Which classical guitarist wrote the opera The Child and the Enchantment? Was it Ravel, Segovia, or Rodrigo? Dole's mind went blank. He used his SOS. He called Rodney. Back in the flat, Rodney and Cassandra were dressed as a policewoman and a gladiator, an attempt at fantasy therapy that had gone horribly awry when Dell unexpectedly stayed home. When the phone rang and Jonathan Ross's voice came through, Rodney thought it was Mickey Pierce winding him up. Oh, piss off, Mickey, you're getting on my tits now, Rodney shouted. But it was real. Rodney, help me. Dole's voice pleaded through the speaker, the guitar question, Ravel, Segovia, or Rodrigo. Rodney, with the confidence of a man who had once heard a record in a library, answered, Ravel, 100% Dell. Ravel, Dell shouted to the nation. Derek, Jonathan Ross said, a look of genuine pity on his face. That was the wrong answer. It was Segovia. Dole's heart didn't just break, it imploded. He had lost. He had lost the money, the flat, and his dignity on national television. Chapter 6, The Phone Call of Destiny. Back at the flat, the mood was funeral quiet. Dell was missing, having disappeared into the night. When he finally returned, he looked older, tired. The vibrant, larger-than-life character seemed to have been hollowed out. I could have sworn it was Ravel, Rodney muttered, looking at his feet. Everyone knows Ravel makes shoes. Dell exploded, though there was no real heat in it. It was a trick question, and you fell for it. They sat in the dim light of the living room, the reality of bankruptcy settling in. They were back at the bottom, but they were together. Then the phone rang. Hello, Rodney answered. Yes, can I ask who's calling? He handed the phone to Dell. It's the producer of Gold Rush. Dell took the phone, his face hardening. I bet it's about that podium. I bet someone's damaged it. Probably Jonathan Ross tripped over his own ego. Hello. Yes, this is Derek Trotter. Dell listened. His eyes widened. His jaw dropped. His hand began to shake. And for a moment, Rodney thought he was having another heart turn. What? No, no. He looked at the family, his face transforming from despair to a manic, golden joy. He said there's been a mistake. Dell whispered. It was Ravel. The researcher got it wrong. I've won the 50,000 pounds. The room erupted. Cheers, hugs, the sound of champagne, or at least the promise of it, filled the air. I knew I was right, Dell shouted, his voice regaining its Peckham swagger. Give the money to charity. Pull the other one. It's got bells on. We're the Trotters, and we're back. Chapter 7, The Nag's Head Jubilation. The news of Del Boy's windfall spread through Peckham faster than a cheap suit in a rainstorm. By the time the Trotters arrived at the Nag's Head, the pub was already buzzing. Sid, the stand-in landlord while Mike was away, had already lined up a row of glasses. Trigger was there, looking at a pint as if it contained the secrets of the universe. Boyke and Marlene were in their usual corner, Boyke looking particularly smug as he adjusted his silk tie. I hear you've come into a bit of official money, Dell, Boyke drawled, his laugh sounding like a machine gun in a library. 50 grand. Hardly enough for a decent cigar. But for you, it must feel like the crown jewels. Jealousy is a terrible thing. Boyke, Dell shot back, slamming a stack of notes onto the bar. A round for everyone, Sid, and make it the good stuff. None of that house vinegar. Nice one, Del Boy, Trigger said, nodding slowly. I knew you'd win. I had a feeling in my water. You always have a feeling in your water, Trig, Rodney sighed, leaning against the bar. Usually it's just the plumbing. As the night wore on, the alcohol flowed and the stories grew taller. Denzel talked about the trial, Denzel still shaking his head at the memory of Trigger's testimony. But beneath the laughter, there was a sense of relief. The Trotters weren't just back in the money, they were back in their element. I'm telling you, Rotters, Dell whispered, his arm around his brother's shoulder. This is just the start. 50 grand. That's seed money. We're going to turn this into 500. Millionaires by Christmas. I promise you. Rodney looked at his brother, seeing the old spark back in his eyes. He knew it was unlikely. He knew they'd probably lose it all on a shipment of one-legged trousers or glow-in-the-dark Bibles. But for tonight, he didn't care. Yeah, Del, Rodney smiled. Millionaires by Christmas. Chapter 8. The Morning After. The sun rose over Nelson Mandela House, casting a long shadow across the parking lot where the yellow van sat, a silent witness to their roller coaster life. Inside the flat, the air was heavy with the scent of stale celebration and burnt toast. Del sat at the small kitchen table, a mountain of paperwork spread out before him. The Inland Revenue, the Customs and Excise, the various business associates who had suddenly rediscovered his phone number. "What are you doing, Del?" Raquel asked, coming in and placing a hand on his shoulder. "Just planning, sweetheart," Del said, his voice quiet. "This 50 grand. It's a lifeline. But we have to be smart. No more sure things. No more Central American markets." "You mean it?" Raquel asked, her voice full of hope. Del looked up at her, and for a second, the mask of the salesman slipped. "I have to mean it, Raquel. For you. For Damien. For the memory of the old man." He looked at the empty chair where Uncle Albert used to sit, telling tales of the war and the sea. He could almost hear the old man's voice, warning him about the sharks in the city. "We're going back to basics," Del declared, his voice regaining its strength. "Trotter's independent traders, buying and selling, finding the gaps, being the bestest." Rodney walked in, looking like he'd been dragged through a hedge backward. "Are we still millionaires, Del?" "In spirit, Rotters," Del grinned, tossing him a set of keys. "Now, get the van started. I've heard a rumor about a shipment of slightly used digital watches in Sitcom. We've got work to do." As the Reliant Regal roared, or rather, coughed to life in the parking lot below, Del Boy stood on the balcony, looking out over his kingdom. The seasons had changed, the tides had turned, and the trotters were still standing. "Cushty," he whispered to the London wind. Chapter 9. The Sidcup Hustle. The drive to Sidcup was an ordeal that only the brave, or the desperate, would undertake in a three-wheeled van with a heater that emitted nothing but the faint scent of burning damp. Rodney hunched in the passenger seat, his knees pressed against the dashboard. "I don't like this, Del," Rodney complained, pulling his scarf tighter. "Sidcup, it's practically in the countryside. And these digital watches. Who's the contact?" Del wrestled with the steering wheel as the van hit a pothole. "It's a bloke named Nifty Neville. A diamond, Rodney. He's got a warehouse full of them. Latest tech, water resistant up to 3 millimeters. 3 millimeters? Del, that's a light drizzle." "Exactly. Perfect for the British climate," Dell replied, beaming. And get this, they're solar powered. No more batteries. You just show them to the sun, and bingo, you know what time it is. They arrived at a desolate industrial estate that looked like a set for a post-apocalyptic film. Nifty Neville was waiting, leaning against a rusted shutter. He handed Dell a cardboard box. Dell opened it to reveal a sea of plastic watches, each one flashing 12 o'clock with desperate urgency. Look at that, Rodders. Pure class, Dell admired, strapping one onto his wrist. He held his arm out of the van window, waiting for the weak London sun to work its magic. Nothing happened. It's a bit shy. That's all, Dell muttered, shaking his arm vigorously. It needs a bit of oomph. Give it a rub, Rodney. Chapter 10. Solar Power in a London Fog. Market day at Peckham was a symphony of chaos. Dell stood on his favorite pitch, the cardboard box of solar watches front and center. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Dell's voice boomed over the crowd. Don't look at the price, look at the quality. Are you tired of batteries dying? Are you sick of losing time when the lights go out? Well, worry no more. The Trotter Solar Watch is here. A small crowd gathered, drawn in by the sheer audacity of his delivery. Is it waterproof? A woman asked, pointing at the plastic casing. Is it waterproof? Dell laughed, a sound of pure mock indignation. Darling, this watch was designed for the French Navy. You could dive to the bottom of the Thames, and it would still tell you it's time for a cup of tea. Just then, a dark cloud moved over the market, and a thick, gray fog began to roll in. One by one, the displays on the watches began to fade. The flashing 12 o'clock became a dim memory, then vanished entirely. Oi, my watch has gone blank, a man shouted, holding up his wrist. Dell didn't blink. That, sir, is the Echo Sleep feature. It's saving power. It knows you're not looking at it, so it's having a little nap. Pure genius, innit? Rodney, standing at the back of the pitch, put his head in his hands. Dell, the fog is getting thicker. We're selling invisible time. Nonsense, Rodney. It's an atmospheric horological experience, Dell whispered back, before turning to the crowd with a wide grin. Who wants another? Buy two, and I'll throw in a set of glow-in-the-dark shoelaces. Chapter 11, The Echoes of the Empire. Back at the Nag's Head that evening, the Sitcom sting was the talk of the bar. Dell sat with a large cognac, a pile of unsold solar watches in a bag at his feet. So, Dell, Boyke said, leaning over with a smirk that could curdle milk, I hear you've been selling watches that only work in the Sahara. Very forward-thinking of you. I suppose your next venture will be selling ice cubes to the Eskimos? It's about the future, Boyke, Dell retorted, not missing a beat. Renewable energy, green technology. I'm an environmentalist now. I'm Dell Green Trotter. Trigger nodded solemnly from his stool. I like the watches. Dell, I bought one. It told me it was midnight all afternoon. Very peaceful. Rodney sighed, sipping his pint. We made 20 quid, Dell, and half of that was from selling the shoelaces to a blind man. Raquel arrived, sitting down next to Dell. She looked at the bag of watches and then at Dell's hopeful face. At least you're trying, Dell. That's what matters. Exactly, sweetheart, Dell said, squeezing her hand. We're back on the streets, the pulse of the city. We're traders, Rodney. We don't need millions to be happy. We just need a good pitch and a bit of luck. Rodney looked around the pub at the familiar faces, the peeling wallpaper, and the warm, noisy atmosphere. He realized that despite everything, he wouldn't trade this for a boardroom in Central America. I suppose you're right, Dell, Rodney admitted. But if you bring home a shipment of solar-powered umbrellas, I'm leaving. Chapter 12, Bonjour, Peckham. The night was quiet as Dell stood on the balcony of Nelson Mandela House. The lights of London stretched out before him, a tapestry of possibilities and pitfalls. He thought about the Harrison watch, the helicopters, and the crash. It felt like a lifetime ago. He looked at the yellow van in the parking lot below. It looked small and battered, but it was still there. It had survived the million-pound dream and the bankruptcy nightmare. It was a trotter through and through. You okay, Dell? Raquel asked, joining him. Yeah, Dell breathed, the familiar scent of the city filling his lungs. I was just thinking, we've been through a lot, haven't we? But we're still here, still fighting, still trading. And we've got each other, she reminded him. And 50 grand in the bank, Dell added, the old twinkle returning to his eyes. Well, 49,980 after today's expenses. He looked up at the stars, which were finally visible as the fog cleared. You know, Rodgers is a good lad, Dell mused. He's got his GCEs, his ideas, but he needs me. He needs the old Del Boy touch. He leaned over the railing, shouting into the darkness, hear that? London, the Trotters are back, and this time next year. Well, you know the rest. Raquel laughed and pulled him back inside. As the door closed, the faint sound of a distant police siren echoed through the streets, a reminder that in Peckham, the hustle never truly ends. Bonjour, Peckham, Dell whispered as he turned off the light. Bonjour. Chapter 13, The Executive Suit. The following Monday, Rodney arrived at the flat wearing a suit that was so sharp it could have been used to carve a Sunday roast. It was a charcoal gray number, impeccably tailored, or at least it looked that way until he tried to sit down and the seams let out a high-pitched scream of protest. You look like a proper businessman, Rodney, Dell remarked, stirring a cup of tea with a gold-plated spoon. A bit like a younger, slightly more gaunt version of Richard Branson, minus the island. and the airlines and the charisma. I'm taking my role seriously. Dell, Rodney insisted, checking his reflection in a toaster. Cassandra says if I'm the managing director, I should project an image of authority. We're having an executive lunch today. An executive lunch. Sounds posh. Dell said, his interest piqued. Where are we going? The Ritz, Savoy, Bernie's Cafe. We're going to that new place, Le Petit Gourmet. Rodney said proudly. It's very exclusive. You have to book a table 3 weeks in advance. 3 weeks. I could have grown my own potatoes in that time, Dell scoffed. But go on, then. I'll come as your consultant. I've got some consulting to do anyway. I need to see a man about a consignment of, well, let's just say it's an atmospheric opportunity. The lunch was a disaster of epic proportions. The portions were so small that Dell spent 10 minutes looking for his steak with a magnifying glass. When the bill arrived, it was more than Rodney's weekly salary. 25 quid for a sprig of parsley and a piece of meat the size of a postage stamp, Dell whispered, his face turning a dangerous shade of red. I've seen more substance in a political manifesto. It's about the experience, Dell. Rodney hissed back. Experience. The only experience I'm having is the experience of starvation. Dell retorted. He leaned over to a nearby table where a wealthy-looking couple were dining. Excuse me, sir, are you finished with that bread roll? Only my managing director here has a very sensitive appetite. Chapter 14, The Bargain from Brussels. A few days later, Dell returned to the flat looking like he just won the lottery. He was carrying a small, metallic briefcase that looked remarkably like the ones used by nuclear scientists in 1960 spy films. Gather round, everyone, Dell announced, placing the briefcase on the kitchen table. Rodney, Raquel, Cassandra, if you're finished with your executive bookkeeping, take a look at this. He flipped the latches and opened the case. Inside were dozens of small, silver canisters that looked like miniature fire extinguishers. What are they, Dell? Raquel asked, peering into the box. Hairspray, deodorant, anti-tank missiles. Better, Dell beamed. This, my dear family, is alpine oxygen. Fresh air, straight from the peaks of the Swiss Alps. Compressed, purified, and ready to revitalize the weary lungs of the London workforce. Rodney stared at the canisters. Dell, you've bought a box of air? Not just air, Rodney. Alpine air. It's the latest craze in Brussels. All the top executives are using it to stay sharp. One puff of this and you're ready to take on the world. I've got 2,000 canisters arriving tomorrow. How much did they cost? Cassandra asked, her eyebrows reaching for her hairline. A bargain. 5 grand for the lot. We sell them at 5 quid a puff, a canister, and we're looking at a 10,000 pound profit. Tax-free, naturally. Dell, the air in London is free. Rodney pointed out. Dirty, yes, but free. Free but filthy. Rodney, this is pure. It's Trotter Fresh. I've already got a marketing slogan. Don't just breathe, peak performance. Chapter 15, The Charity Gala and the Smog. The timing of the Alpine oxygen launch couldn't have been more perfect. A thick, yellow smog had descended upon London, turning the city into something resembling a giant bowl of pea soup. People were coughing, spluttering, and generally desperate for a breath of something that didn't taste like coal dust. This is it, rotters, Dell shouted, loading the van. The market will be screaming for this. We're going to be heroes, like the Red Cross, but with better jewelry. They set up their pitch in the heart of Peckham. Dell was wearing a white lab coat he'd borrowed from a local dentist, and Rodney was standing by with a megaphone. Feeling sluggish, lungs feeling like a chimney sweep's waistcoat, Dell shouted, "Get your Trotter Fresh Alpine Oxygen. One puff and you'll think you're skiing in St. Moritz." A crowd gathered instantly. People were clamoring for the canisters, waving 5-pound notes in the air. For 2 hours, it was a frenzy. Dell was sweating, his lab coat stained with fog, but he was grinning like a Cheshire cat. "I told you, Rodney, vision, that's what I've got." But then the first complaint arrived. A man who had just bought 5 canisters came back, looking less than revitalized. "Oi, this canister is empty," he shouted. "Empty? Impossible," Dell said, taking the canister. He pressed the nozzle. A faint, wheezing sound emerged, followed by a smell that was definitely not reminiscent of the Swiss Alps. In fact, it smelled remarkably like Brussels sprouts. Rodney whispered, sniffing the air. "Brussels sprouts," the man roared. "I'm breathing in a Sunday dinner." Chapter 16, The Reality of Fresh Air. It turned out that Nifty Neville's Brussels contact had been slightly less than honest. The canisters weren't filled with Alpine air. They were a surplus batch of industrial-grade gas used in a Belgian vegetable packing plant. The crowd quickly turned from desperate customers to an angry mob. Dell and Rodney barely made it to the van before the first tomato hit the windshield. "Start the engine, Rodney, start the engine," Dell screamed. The Reliant Regal coughed, spluttered, and then roared to life, screeching away from the market just as a hail of empty canisters rained down around them. Back at the flat, the silence was deafening. Raquel and Cassandra were waiting, their arms crossed. So, Raquel said softly, "How did the peak performance go?" Dell sat down at the table, his lab coat torn and his pride even more so. "Well, we had a bit of a technical glitch. The Belgian atmosphere is a bit more robust than I anticipated. You lost 5,000 pounds, Dell," Cassandra said, her voice like ice. No, not lost. Invested in a lesson," Dell corrected weakly. "And besides, we've still got the canisters. They're very durable. We could use them as doorstops. Rodney looked at his brother, and for a moment he felt a surge of anger. But then he saw the exhaustion in those eyes, the way his shoulders slumped. He realized that Dell was just trying to get them back to where they were, to the glory days of the Harrison watch. "It's okay, Dell," Rodney said, sitting down next to him. "We've still got the 44,000 from the game show. We're not broke." Dell looked up, a small smile playing on his lips. "You're right, Rotters. You're right. And I've heard a rumor about a shipment of slightly damaged electric toothbrushes in Gravesend. They're sonic, apparently. Very modern." Raquel sighed and walked over to the kitchen. "I'll make some tea. And Dell." "Yes, sweetheart. No more air from anywhere." "Promise," Dell said, crossing his heart with a gold-ringed finger. He winked at Rodney. "But toothbrushes, Rotters. Everyone's got teeth, haven't they? It's a guaranteed winner." As the kettle began to whistle, the Trotters sat together in the heart of Peckham, a family built on dreams, disasters, and an unbreakable bond that no amount of Belgian sprout gas could ever truly tarnish. "Kushti," Dell whispered, "Kushti, the Peckham Phoenix. A novelization of the Trotter Chronicles. Chapter 1, The Yellow Ghost of Peckham." The yellow three-wheeled Reliant Regal then rattled through the streets of Peckham like a skeletal remains of a decade everyone else had tried to forget. On its side, the faded lettering still defiantly proclaimed, "Trotters Independent Traders, New York, Paris, Peckham." It was a lie, of course. They had been to Paris briefly. They had never been to New York, and Peckham was currently trying its best to pretend they didn't exist. Derek Delboy Trotter sat behind the wheel, his rings catching the stray glints of a London sun that looked like it had been filtered through a greasy chip wrapper. He was humming the theme tune to his own life, a melody of seasons changing and tides turning. "I'll fetch the suitcase from the van," he muttered to himself, a mantra of the perpetual salesman. Beside him sat Rodney. Rodney, the graduate with 2 GCEs and a brain that was currently a chaotic blender of existential dread and marital anxiety. Rodney was looking at the dashboard as if it were a ticking bomb. "What's up with you, Rodney?" Dell asked, his voice a gravelly mix of concern and irritation. "You look like a man who's just found out his lottery ticket was for last week's draw." "I'm a bit nervous, Dell," Rodney admitted, his voice cracking slightly. "This bloke we're going to see, this Justin, he's a documentary maker, right? He's not going to be asking me anything personal about my private life." Dell swung the van around a corner with the grace of a shopping trolley in a hurricane. "Of course he ain't. We're not that private, are we? We're public figures, the Trotters of Nelson Mandela House. But what about, me and Cassandra, our hiccups?" Dell rolled his eyes. He's not going to want to know about your little problems in the bedroom department. Rodney, though, strictly speaking, if you're having hiccups in the bedroom, you're probably doing it wrong. I told you that in confidence. Rodney hissed, his face reddening to the color of a ripe tomato. And I'm keeping it in confidence. Dell shouted back. I'm not going to be telling him about jiffins and what Cassandra wears. I've got more class than that. Mostly. Chapter 2. The Interrogator. Justin was the kind of man who wore spectacles not because he needed them, but because they made his expensive degree look even more expensive. His office was a minimalist vacuum of white walls and overpriced Scandinavian furniture. He looked at the Trotter brothers as if they were a rare species of beetle that had accidentally crawled onto his silk tie. Sorry to keep you waiting, Justin said, his voice dripping with the practiced sincerity of a BBC middle manager. It's been a particularly busy morning. Now, I've got all the basic details about your business career, the watches, the bottled water, the pre-war lead soldiers. But what I'd like to do is to get an insight into the real you. Dell leaned back, crossing his legs and adjusting his tie. He felt at home. Give Del Boy an audience and a chance to rewrite history. And he was more dangerous than a shark in a tuxedo. How you started, how you became so successful, Justin continued, leaning forward. But more importantly, your lives and your raison d'etre. Del blinked. Oh, no. Laboratory Garney. I don't use that stuff. It's all natural, this hair. Rodney groaned into his hands. He means reason for being. Del. I knew that. Del snapped. I was just checking if he did. Right then, Justin. Where shall I start? Up to a few years ago, we were just very ordinary people living very ordinary lives. Weren't we, Rodney? Rodney gave a hollow laugh. Ordinary. Del, our childhood involved hiding from the rent collector behind a sofa that was technically also being repossessed. Details, details. Del waved a hand dismissively. And then, as you know, one day I discovered an historic and almost priceless artifact. A watch. A Harrison Lesser watch. Found it in the back of a garage. It was like a sign from the gods of commerce. Chapter 3, The Golden Age. For a brief, shimmering moment in the mid-90s, the Trotters had been kings. The novel of their lives had transitioned from a gritty social drama to a glossy jet-set thriller. Anyway, Del continued, his eyes glazing over with the memory of pure, unadulterated wealth. At first, we didn't know what to do with it. We thought about donating it to the British Museum as a national treasure. We really did. We felt a sense of duty to the crown. We thought about it for exactly 3 seconds, Rodney corrected. And then we decided to flog it. Del grinned. 6.5 million quid. Justin, can you imagine that? 6.5 million of the Queen's finest nuggets. We divvied the dosh up. making sure our Uncle Albert got a nice little drink, bless his old seafaring soul, and we thought of others. We donated to charity, enormously, of course. We bought a round of drinks for the whole Nag's Head, Rodney whispered. That was our charity work. It felt like a charity, Dell insisted. Have you seen the state of Trigger? He needs all the help he can get. So, eventually, we had to start thinking about our future. We sought out a city stockbroker, a man with a tie thinner than a strand of spaghetti and a brain like a calculator. He advised us to invest in a new and vibrant venture, a Central American market. Dell stood up, pacing the small office. It was attracting massive funds from all over the world. We were making more money than the Royal Mint. We weren't just flat, Justin. We were ascendant. Chapter 4, The Fall of the Empire. The flashback in Dole's mind was vivid. He remembered the heat of the Caribbean, the smell of expensive sun cream, and the feeling of a platinum credit card in his pocket, a card that felt like it had the power to stop the rotation of the earth if he swiped it hard enough. He remembered Raquel, his significant other, looking like a movie star in a wide-brimmed hat. He remembered young Damien, the fruit of his loins, playing on the deck of a yacht. He remembered Rodney and Cassandra, looking like they finally belonged in a world where the wine didn't come from a box. And then the music changed. It wasn't a sudden explosion. It was the sound of a phone not ringing. It was the sight of a computer screen flickering with red numbers that shouldn't have been there. She's into superstitions. The radio had been playing in the hotel lobby. Livin' La Vida Loca. It turned out, Dell said, his voice dropping an octave, that negotiations between the Central American countries had collapsed, wiped out. The market didn't just crash. It evaporated. It was like someone had pulled the plug on the ocean. We'd even paid for the hotel on a credit card. Rodney added, the ghost of the trauma still visible in his eyes. A credit card which was withdrawn while we were still at the breakfast buffet. I was halfway through a bowl of exotic fruit, and suddenly I was an international pauper. Dell nodded solemnly, but Derek Trotter is, if nothing else, a creative businessman. I came up with a solution. We had to leave. Fast. We ran, Rodney said. We literally ran for the airport while the concierge was still looking for the bill. Chapter 5, The Financial Wilderness. The return to the UK was not met with a ticker-tape parade. The news of the Trotter collapse had traveled faster than a Peckham rumor. How long did it take for the news to hit the UK? Justin asked, scribbling notes furiously. About as long as it took for someone to push a button on the internet. Dell sighed. Suddenly, all our so-called business associates wouldn't return our calls. We were cast into a financial wilderness. It was like the desert, but with more rain and less sand. And then there was Mike. Rodney reminded him. Dole's face darkened. Mike Fisher, the landlord of the Nag's Head. a man who had seen the Trotters as his ticket out of the pub trade. Mike invested his life savings in our venture, Dell explained. He actually remortgaged the pub. He's in prison now, awaiting trial. The fraud squad claims he tried to recoup his losses by embezzling the brewery. Never was a man more innocent. He confessed to everything, Dell, Rodney pointed out. He was under duress. Dell shouted, "The pressure of the brewing industry is immense." The narrative shifted to the waiting room of the court.